Resources, as you move into the cloud, are one of the things that you'll have to think about, that you'll have to consider. What are the costs of the services on the different clouds? What should you use? What are the licenses for the software that you will run? What are the tools that you will use? Now, there's an interesting story to be told when it comes to resources on the cloud, and that is that you can do a great deal for free. That is, there is a layer of services that are provided for free for a year, and there's a layer that will always be free. Not only that, the open source ecosystem provides a number of resources that over the last 20 years have come to rival or surpass that of proprietary vendors. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through some of the highlights. I'll start off with the free tiers from the major cloud vendors. As you can see, here is the free tier from AWS. In the classroom at MIT, we can teach fully all of the technologies that are offered on the platform with the free tier. It is a great resource, and not only does it provide you free resources for a year, as you can see down here on the list of things that you can use, there is a checkbox here for always free. You will always have 1 million Lambda calls per month. That is that you can imagine running a small startup, and if you have over 1 million calls to your Lambda services perhaps that is a good thing, meaning you are successful, your product is being used. But in general, what I want to illustrate here is that there's a great deal of resources that not only are available on the 1-year trial, you can continue to use them always. As this says, always free. It is not just AWS. Google has something similar. You can see here, Google Cloud Platform free tier. You have the 12 months offering, and then you have the always free products, just like we have on AWS. A different set of services, certainly different interfaces, depending on your organization, one might fit better or the other. Now, when it comes to Azure, the third one here that we'll walk through, we have the same thing. Once again, 12 months of free services. If we scroll down, you can see there what we get with our free account, which products are free for 12 months. And if we were to scroll down, we'd get to the offerings that were always free. And you can see here what type of services. For example, you can do 30,000 calls to the AI and machine learning API per month. That is a great free resource that you can certainly use and leverage to experiment, to try new products, and to incentivize your organization to start to innovate. Now, it's not just limited to cloud. As I mentioned at the beginning, the last 20 years have provided a set of resources, technologies, software development stacks, services that are free and that are fueling the ecosystem of innovation that exists today. One of the primary building blocks of software development today is that of Git, and GitHub is the primary example of that. As you can see here, there are over 40 million developers on this platform. We use it for course development. We use it for software creation. It is a great, great resource. It embodies some of the best practices for agility and speed when it comes to software development. You can use it free of charge for public projects, or you can pay for the license for private. You can also make use of the code within your own organization without having to pay any fees. It is all open source. The other resource that I'll mention is NPM, which stands for the Node Package Manager. This is by far the largest software registry of open source that exists in the world. And if I scroll down, you can see here the tremendous numbers. You can see there are over 1 million packages, 3 times bigger than the closest repository of open source. You can see the number of downloads of packages, which is at 11 billion. And you can see that in the last month, close to 50 billion packages have been used. It is a tremendously rich ecosystem of components, building blocks that you can use to construct your products. I'll give you a couple examples here. This one package is the Express web framework. You can see here that it's been downloaded 10 million times, close to 10 million times within the last week. Here is what it is, Express, a very versatile agile product that is used by many in this ecosystem. Another simple example is this of a asynchronous library that packages some of the best practices. You can see here 18 million downloads within the last week. So once again, a tremendous resource of packages, building blocks that you can use for free to create your digital products in your organization. One more example of that is the widest use, or the most widely used code editor in the open source environment. It's not just the open source environment, it is also used by enterprises and many others. It has a tremendous ecosystem of plugins that the community are building. It is open source. It is built on the foundations of the web. It uses a lot of the technologies or the building blocks that the NPM ecosystem I showed has. It is built on top of a browser foundation, and the ecosystem, its guts, are very much the same as that of Node, which is the previous resource that I showed you. A great editor. We use it in our classes. It is widely used, as I mentioned, in industry. And I could go on and on. I'll simply give you a couple more examples. This one is of MongoDB, a very mature database technology. For the longest times, we've had Postgres and other relational database management systems that are traditional. Now the innovation and the investment and the maturity in the services are also provided in open source offerings that are available through the cloud vendors, but you can run the software for free without paying for any licenses. The same thing would be true of Redis, and these are, once again, very mature, very stable resources that you can use. So in general, the message here is there's a great deal to be leveraged without spending any money. You can get started right away on the cloud. You can make use of the ecosystem of technologies that are either on the cloud or that you can run on the cloud. And there's a great deal here to be happy about and excited about, and that you can use it to catalyze the innovation within your organization.